Welcome to another edition. This is like super. This is like my family. This is my family that I'm having on this edition of Mic Checka. This is my family. If everybody listens to our Wu-Tang summary series, this is Focus's sister, my sister too, Reesha Archibald, the pride of Hazelwood Central, the pride of Lincoln University, the pride of Delta Sigma Theta and sorority and pride of all of us. We super proud of her and everything she's been doing. And I'm glad that she came here to tell her story, because her story is super wild, interesting of where she is now is one of the producers on Johnson's on Bounce TV, starring with D.L. Hughley. I'm losing Thomas Jones. Name some of the co-stars. And
he created it and produced it as well as one of the EPs, along with Thomas Q. Jones. He wrote the majority of the episodes as well. And then the other two leads are Derek Brady and Philip Smithy.
Okay. I got, if I do get a chance to get Thomas, I have to let him know I wanted $75 in college from when he was playing in college, from a game he played in, literally from in the dorm, and it literally saved my life for 2 weeks. I literally owe him like I don't even know if I would have been able to survive in Ames for 2 weeks when he was at University of Tennessee. Like, I'm like, look, I think they put me now. I was like $75. I ain't had a $75, so it was really just plus. It wasn't adding on to my 75. It was literally just 0 to 75.
Were they playing? They were playing Tennessee that game?
No. He played for University of Tennessee.
He was at Virginia.
No, he played University of Tennessee. Yes, and I was like, yo, this dude running back doing get 200 some yards. It was like, what? No, I was like, we don't even know. I was like, I'm telling you, man. And it was crazy because I watched. Back then only time you could really get to know players, the internet wasn't as big, so you watch College Game Day in the morning, and they would highlight players, and they highlighted him, and I was like, hey man, I just think he just looked like he knew what he was doing.
I'm putting it on that guy.
it was just some guys in the dorm, just chopping off, and I was like, man, he gonna kill him. And he did. He got like 265 yards or something. I was all the Ames people, they know I had a lot of pizza. I was buying pizza pit wings for everybody.
Out here saving lives.
Yeah, saving lives. Didn't even know. Don't even know. Young black man made it through college because of him. Same age, so it's not like
right. That's hilarious. That is so funny.
So yeah, let's get into your story, Reesha. You from Denver original. Was your family's from St. Louis?
Yeah.
Shout out to your mom, chick, who's high school classmates with my uncle, who is Kevin Woodson.
Yeah,
he's gonna come. He don't want to come on my podcast. I don't know why he won't, but he's just being extra. Like what I'm gonna talk about. I don't want to talk about nothing with you like that. We talk in general. Just bring the camera to my house. Like he probably bring the camera to his house, and like he get a special edition. Like it is.
Right. He in his big chair.
Yeah, but originally from Denver. Your parents are both from St. Louis, but y'all ended up in different. So how did your family come from St. Louis to Denver? I know the story, but.
Sure. So yeah, my parents met in St. Louis, and my daddy, he was in the military for years. And one of the places that he was stationed in was Denver, Colorado at one point. And when he got back to St. Louis, he was just like, I got to get out of here. And so he was like, out of the places that he had traveled to through the military, because he was out of the military at this point, he was like either Denver or San Francisco, and Denver won. So my mama and he had met, shortly, I think right before he had made the decision to move, and he was like, yo, you can roll with me.
Yeah, I'm saying, but it's just like, you want to roll. It sounded like a hood movie, like you want to move to Atlanta, like in this.
Well, she was going through a lot of like family issues.
Yeah, so she was a good escape for her.
She was in a position where she needed to move from St. Louis anyway. So daddy was like, you can roll with me, we can make it happen, whatever. It was kind of like, whatever.
Let's just go together.
Exactly. So yeah, so that was in 1980, and like the end of 1980, and then they got married in 81, had me in 82, had Will in 83, Focus in 83. And so Will and I are 11 months apart. So
y'all are are they? I just call it Irish twins, right?
Irish twins.
But isn't Irish twins normally supposed to be if you got two different baby mamas? Though?
I thought it was 11 months apart, but I don't.
Maybe that's ghetto twins.
Ghetto twins. Daddy
So
was like,
in
wow.
theory, y'all could have ended up being in the same class almost,
Yeah.
depending on how it would have met,
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yep. But yeah, so that's my guy, man. I mean, I don't remember life without that dude, so
So you literally do not remember, because y'all 11 months apart, so you don't remember any like
no life without Will.
about.
No,
It's like not even a twin. It's like not having a twin, but it's a twin because you don't recollect life. It's not like you were 2 or 3 and like, oh, this other dude roll up. It's like he always been here. As soon as I remember, I could see color. He was here.
He was here. Yeah. And we kind of act like twins too. It's so
Y'all
weird.
do.
Like, we'll call each other, be like, what you wearing? We wear the same colors all the time. It's so weird. It's so weird.
So y'all in Denver. So Focus tells me a story that when you all were in Denver, it was like when you guys had to move back to St. Louis, it was like the end of the world for y'all because that's all y'all knew was Denver.
Yeah, I mean, well, St. Louis was always our second home. Like we would go to St. Louis like 2 and 3 times a year to visit family, so it wasn't like we were moving to a foreign land. I think the hardest thing was we were like really involved in the city. Like I was in hella choirs, and Will also was in a few choirs there. We had our crews, you know what I'm saying? I was a junior in high school when we left, and I was a basketball manager, peer leader, mentor, peer mediator. Like we were into some of everything. NAACP, I was the treasurer for our youth and college division. Like we were the charter members of the youth and college division for the NAACP. So we were very, very enthralled in the fabric of what was going on in the city at that time. So that was very difficult. But, my mama she deals with 5 different autoimmune diseases. And at the time, we had to leave. Like she said that she had a dream or something like that. And the Holy Spirit told her that if she wasn't gone by March, she'd be dead. And so Daddy was like, we moving. So it was as simple as that, you know what I'm saying? And she wanted to have us, stay and finish up the school semester. But I was like, no, ma'am. Like we both were like, we leave. If you leave, we leave. Like we're not staying.
Oh,
here.
so you was gonna finish your senior year there in Denver originally?
My junior year. So I was a junior. Yeah. she wanted us to finish out school because that was my we had that family meeting when we were at Christmas break. So that was like January.
So I didn't know you transferred mid-semester. I mean, like, so why I always thought it was like that summer and then you went into
second semester junior year. Oh, that was rough. Ooh, when I tell you. And like I was the basketball manager for my team, and my team was like the best team in the city. So like stuff was heating up. We were going to the championships, like all that was happening. And I left.
Did Chauncey go to y'all high school?
No, he went to a different school. He went to George Washington.
Okay.
Yeah, but I grew up watching him. You know what I'm saying? He's one of my favorite players for sure. But yeah, like it was rough. But St. Louis will always have a very special place in my heart though, because going from city to city like that, going into uncharted territory in some ways, you know what I'm saying? It can be kind of scary, and on the very first day of school, shout out to Antronella Duff, like one of my best friends to this day, she welcomed me to sit and eat with her and her crew.
Hey, people misunderstand that they're sitting down at lunch. That's the man.
I've never had to deal with it though, because my girl looked up from like we had math class together, and I stepped into the classroom and she's like, you knew? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, you can come back here and sit with me if you want to. And so I sat with her in math class. And then for lunch, she had me sit with her crew. And I'm like, man, this is love. Like, because my friends and I would do that in Denver. You know what I'm saying? But that was rare. Like, that didn't happen. But that's just how me and my friends were.
But that's paying it forward. That's life paying it forward.
Absolutely. So
because you could have gotten into some wrong crews there too.
Yeah, I could have. Yeah, Central was full of everybody.
Yeah, when we were all in high school, that was a transitional time of Central. The beginning of it, where it started transition.
Yeah, we were the last of the Mohicans for real. Because like I probably say after probably 2005, it started to change for real, for real.
Yeah.
But I graduated in 2000. But it was like, yeah, it was definitely half and half, Black kids, white kids. Yeah.
It was so. I as a kid not going to Central, I always thought Central was mostly Black until I remember Marco was like, "No, man, my school is and I was like, "For real? I ain't never met a white person from Hazelwood Central." And then I end up going to one of y'all events, and I was like, "Oh wow, it really is happening."
Yep.
It's so hard in the city. You didn't know. You thought it was just as many like as Central people, Black people as it was East people. It felt like that.
Yeah, it felt like that because like the sports were that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, maybe that's what it was.
Basketball team and football teams were mostly Black and was killing at that time.
And Central was the biggest high school in the state at one point.
Yep, 2,500 students. Yep, it was huge. I remember going there like, what? So many kids here. But yeah, it was dope. I had great teachers. It was a hard transition in the beginning, just because like I low-key saw how racist St. Louis was too out the gate. Like one of my in Denver, we had an African American history class, and so I took that class instead of U.S. history, and they took that credit. Right, moved to St. Louis, they did not take that credit, so I had to take U.S. history with sophomores, and I was hot. I had to take health class because I took other classes, like they gave alternate classes in Denver that you could take in lieu of other things. So if I didn't want to take those classes because I knew about those subjects and wasn't interested in that, I would take whatever the alternative was. And yeah, Central wasn't having it. I was so angry. So when all the seniors were doing co-op senior year, which is what I should have been doing, I was taking remedial classes like health class.
Wow, you sitting there with freshmen.
I was so angry, Swiss. Like, yo, I was so mad.
Just sitting in there with some random kid.
But I mean, I will say though that, it did open me up to meet some pretty cool people who were younger than me, who I didn't grow up with. So, you know, everything happens for a reason, whatever. But I definitely was upset. And what was whack was at our school in Denver, shout out to Denver East High School, home of the Denver Angels.
It's Don Cheadle, Pam Grier, right?
Yeah, man. All them. Yep. Philip Bailey.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Is
it Sinbad? Is Sinbad from Denver too?
He is not.
No, he went to Denver for basketball.
Yeah, he went to.
I think he's from like Wichita or something. I think he's from Wichita, Kansas. Maybe it's something like that, or it's some Wichita. Maybe he was in the military. Something with some random cities like that. But
yeah, well, yeah, he did spend some time in Colorado though. But yeah, we would get like an hour lunch in Denver, and we could drive to school and everything else. At Central, they had 30-minute lunch in the cafeteria. You couldn't drive unless you had a co-op.
He's from Michigan.
Got it. Detroit?
Benton Harbor.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, it's basically Detroit.
Got it. Okay. But yeah, so it was moving to St. Louis was definitely a transition. But my mama was doing so much better. And like I said, the people welcomed us with open arms. And what was dope was that, we meshed with the kids so well because we have a St. Louis upbringing, although we grew up in Denver. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and they so St. Louis. Like my mama from the projects, my daddy from the north side. So yeah, like they St. Louis through and through. So we had that St. Louis upbringing, and that's what we, clicked so well with the people. Then too, like I said, it was always our second home. We would go there so often and spend all our breaks there, So yeah. It was
so then while you're in high school, you get named Miss Gateway Classic.
So I actually was Miss NAACP.
Miss NAACP, okay. Okay.
Yep.
So how did that come all about?
Well, Will and I had been a part of the NAACP at that time for like 6 years or so. And I really can't remember how I got named Miss NAACP for Missouri. I don't know if I just submitted myself or I don't remember, but I did compete on a national level and I got second runner up. And that was a combination of like having a talent and
so it was like competing against Miss Black America type thing or
yeah.
Oh wow. So it was okay. So it was like a pageant.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That was in 2000. Yeah, 2000. Yep.
Wow.
We were in Atlanta. Yep.
Wow,
Yep.
I never understood that stuff, man. I've never even, I don't even know if you know, my mom was Miss Black Missouri 78. No bullshit. No, 79, 79, 79.
Wow.
And I showed up a year later, a year and a half later. She kicked it too hard after.
That's funny. I love it.
Yeah, so you end up choosing to go to Lincoln because you end up getting a scholarship because of getting that far in the competition, right?
No, I didn't. No, I got my scholarships because of just my academics.
Oh, okay. I always thought that you got a scholarship from being in that pageant. I always thought that was like a.
They might have given one to the winner, but I was like was I the second runner up or first runner up? I can't remember which one, but I was one of the runner ups, first or second. And I didn't
know who the first runner up is? I mean, not the first runner up, the champion is the weekend.
Yeah, golly, that was like over 20 years ago.
Yeah. I was a salutatorian of 8th grade. I check up on the girl that's a valedictorian every 6 months. Shout out to Pam Conley. Like, she's doing super dope. Like, she's a lawyer in DePaul. Like, she listens to podcasts. And she go like, Negro, you just talked to me like 2 weeks.
It's so funny you say that though, because I recently, so I went to Denver to support my best friend for her show. I just snuck up on her. And
you good for just sneaking up on people.
I like surprises. But our music teacher was there to support her. And my last memory of him was, well, one of the main ones I remember was when I didn't get selected for the Angelaires. So like that was like the top choir in
that's the choir. Okay.
Yeah, it's like the chamber choir. So they do all the little fancy dance steps and the show choir.
So it's Kirk Franklin for Denver. Kirk Franklin and the family for Denver.
Right. But with show. It's like show tunes, right? Yeah. Exactly. So they had auditions. Now I was a part of a group that they were like basically grooming to go right into Angelaires, right? If you wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Man, when I tell you, when I audition, my nerves be so bad. Like I don't like singing by myself. Like put me in a choir and let me just bust them harmonies and hold my own. Just let me do it. You know what I can do? Just let me do it. If I got to audition, my nerves be bad. I don't like all that. You know what I'm saying? I don't like all that attention on me. It just drives me crazy. Period. Just let me do what I do. I got you. Don't even worry about it. So I'm thinking that I pretty much was a shoo-in because I was in that special hand-picked class that he created to put everybody into Angelaires. So I did the audition. I didn't mess up the entire audition, but I definitely did mess up some because I was nervous. So he didn't select me for Angelaires. And when I tell you, I was crushed. Oh my God. I found him and I lit into him so bad. I was so mad.
This is recently?
No, I was in high school.
Oh.
But I saw him recently. And he was like, Reesha, I'm so sorry. He was like,
of course she is.
He said, one of my worst memory professionally was not choosing you for Angelaires. He was like, you hunted me down. I was like, I sure did.
You thought you was in there. You thought you was in there.
And then, because he had told me, he was like, we got you next year. But next year never came because we moved. So when I told him I was moving, he was like, oh, you won't be able to do Angelaires. I was like, well,
you don't care.
I'm over it at that point. So, but he made me feel really good, just telling me, apologizing to me recently, because that was over 20 years ago at this point.
Yeah.
So for him to tell me that was big for me. But I said all that to say, to your point about, comparing yourself to people who, were the it person in school growing up. Like, I think about all the things I've done, and most of the people who were like the it people aren't doing half the stuff I've been doing. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, what is it? What was it? 50 Cent did it right when he said, damn, homie, you used to be the man, homie. What happened to you? They said in high school, you used to be the man, homie. What happened to you?
Like, I'm grateful that, I've been able to stay focused on my goals, and that I've had the opportunities that I've had, because, you know, I look at, you know, even that instant where I didn't get into the choir that I wanted to, you know, that was in adversity in my young age, you know what I'm saying? But I had to figure out how to navigate that no, you know what I'm saying? And that bruised my ego. It hurt my feelings. I didn't think I deserved that. And I had to figure out how to push through, you know what I'm saying? So it's like all those things matter, you know what I mean? And then to have, you know, my teacher, you know, show me mad love when I saw him recently and even acknowledge that, I really appreciated that. And I know that he's proud of me, you know what I'm saying? And I'm proud of him because he's still doing his thing, being an amazing teacher. Shout out to Mr. Taylor, being an amazing for changing and molding young lives, you know, in Denver. So shout out to him. But yeah, I mean, we, to your point, like, we just kind of gotta keep pushing, because it's like, yeah, we have all this competition in high school and college and whatever else we're doing, but it's like we gotta stay focused on what our goals are. And
You can't live off the laurels of the last 5 years. That's one thing. You can't be living off what I did 5 years ago.
Exactly. Yep, that's it. So yeah. So
all right, so you decided to go to Lincoln University. How did you go to end up at Lincoln?
Sure. So I always wanted to go to Howard. My oldest brother, Greg, you know, that's my big brother. I look up to him so much. I wanted to go to Howard my whole life. And when mama got sicker, I wanted to be closer to her. So I actually had I got accepted into Alabama A&M and had a scholarship opportunity, but I went to go visit Lincoln as well. And some of my Denver friends went there, and we all did a tour before they ended up going there. We all did a tour of the campus, because one of my adopted aunts, Aunt Carolyn Phillips, who was our NAACP advisor at the time, she had a close friend who was one of the VPs at the school. So they set up a whole tour for us. So we went down to Lincoln and stayed for like 2 or 3 days, and, you know, met different people there. And I was like, this school is dope. Like, I love the campus. It's nice. It's clean. The people seem really friendly. It's only like 1:45 from the crib. So it's far enough to get some independence, but it's close enough that if I need to get on the highway to see my mama and daddy and check on everybody, I can do that too. So going to Lincoln just made sense. And I always wanted to go to an HBCU. So, you know, outside of Harris Stowe, you know, Lincoln is the other HBCU and the oldest HBCU in the state.
I mean, it's only 3 HBCUs in the 4, 5 in the Midwest period, right?
I think it's only 3.
Langston,
Harris Stowe, and Langston.
Well, no, I mean, you got Wilberforce and Central in Ohio.
Oh, yep. You're right. Yep. That is.
And then unofficially Chicago State. Oh, no. It's not, but it is.
But it is. Yeah, it definitely is. So yeah. I guess I wasn't thinking of them as the Midwest, but they are. Yeah. So yeah.
And I guess, would you consider Kentucky State then too?
I feel like Kentucky's more Southern, right? But Kentucky State is a HBCU.
It's a Midwest. I mean, it's Louisville's right there. So I guess Kentucky State too. Yeah. And guys, West Virginia State, is that? I know that's HBCU as well.
I don't know much about West Virginia State.
Yeah, I mean, I looked it up and it was like, I'll talk to you about offline. Just Google that and just go to the National Panhellenic Council's page. And I tell you, it'll blow your mind.
Oh God. You gotta text that to me so I can remember.
And then you find out, and then you go look at the demographics on screen, you're like, oh, it makes sense.
Okay. All right, yeah. So that's the thing about a lot of HBCUs. Like, a lot of them are, wait, what's going on here? Sorry, my iPhone is tripping. I don't know what that was. A lot of HBCUs, you know, they had to integrate when segregation ended too. So a lot of these schools are in rural cities. So, you know, the white folks who didn't have as much money, but knew they could get a good education, went to our schools. Lincoln's the same way. Lincoln has a large white population.
And this is the thing though. And this is no disrespect to any Caucasian or white person that's went to HBCU. I've never met a white person who's went to an HBCU yet. I know they exist. I know the statistical things, but, you know, for my gig, you know, where I'm looking at applications, I've never seen nobody pop up with a FAMU. Then you'd be like, let me go to LinkedIn. That's not FAMU. That's fan you. I haven't seen that yet. So I just wonder if there's like an underground like component of like white people that go to HBCUs that you don't know about, and it's like an underground thing, or like they maybe change their college on their resume. I don't, because I've never seen. I know the statistics that there are more white people that go to HBCUs than people think, but I don't see them. If that makes sense. Like I've never seen them on LinkedIn. Like if you go to LinkedIn, like if I go to the Lincoln Facebook page, I don't see them as, fans of the Lincoln Facebook page.
Yeah. Well, you know what I would say about Lincoln, and I don't know about the other places, but for my school, like it was very black at night because all the white students went home because they lived. Yeah, they didn't stay on campus. They went home because they live right there. You know what I'm saying? So like you would see more Lincoln resumes from white people if you lived in Jefferson City.
You saying that basically
they stay within their area because they're from there. Like we're not from Jeff City. You know what I'm saying? We go to school.
So you're saying that a white person that went to Lincoln is not going to move to Kansas City or St. Louis. They're probably just going to stay in that 40, 50 mile radius for anything.
Exactly. Yep. Because they're staying close to their families.
So like Alabama A&M, they're gonna stay in Huntsville, or they gonna, if they at FAMU, they gonna stay in Tallahassee or wherever. Exactly.
Yep.
Unless I guess you would know white people that went to the bigger ones like a Howard or something like that. Like, oh yeah, that white person went there. But you hear about like a lot of smaller towns where a lot more white people went to HBCUs, and that makes sense that they would just stay in that area. They don't like, I'm going to the city,
because they're not big city people. So they like
like that. That's man. Because I've been looking for them on. I'll just go to random HBCU Facebook pages to try to find white people. It's like a Where's Waldo, And then you like click on their page to see if like are they a part of the community, or are they just going to school there?
Right.
Which is two different things. Right, but I just want to find them. It's like, Where's Waldo? I think I start like a Facebook group where we just go through like different HBCUs and find the white people that went there.
That is funny.
Like a thing of like, if you find it's like Pokemon, we gotta find them.
So I decided to stay for another 2 years and got my MBA in management. I actually did want to come back because I was actually in St. Louis every weekend in grad school.
So I
was back home all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm already here. I ain't gotta really do too much, try to reapply to another school for graduate school.
Yeah, exactly. I knew all the teachers, you know what I'm saying? Like I got a cool little job working at the prosecutor's office back then. So yeah, I was working full time and going to school full time and knocked it on out. Yep. So
after leaving Lincoln, you came back to St. Louis about a year?
No, I actually went from grad school to Omaha.
That's right. So like that, like, oh man. Hold on. Yeah, we got to rewind this back. So hold on. So you never came back to St. Louis for?
Nope. I was home just visiting.
Maybe I just felt like you was here though.
Because I was always there. When I tell you I legit was at home almost every weekend when I was in grad school. That's when I met y'all.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I met y'all in 2005.
Yeah. Because I met your brother. You know the story how me and your brother met?
No.
So we both went to the Million Man March.
Yes.
And I think I text Adrian or called him. He's like, yo, Focus is there. I was like, I ain't never really met him before. He's like, yo, just hit him up. So I call him. I'm like, maybe we might have met once before. We had never kicked it or something. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yo, I'm here too. He's like, yo. And like, we just literally linked up like an hour later. And that's been my dude for 16 years. He's one of my only new friends. I tell him all the time, you like the last person that got in.
I love it.
And we've been kicking. I met Greg that weekend. I'm talking about all this stuff happened that weekend. He met one of my boys, Nate from New York. He ended up getting cool with. We ended up having a whole thing trying to get an H2O this night. It was just, and he ended up having to stay at my crib because he couldn't get back to Greg's crib because the whatever now. And he had to end up staying in with me. He was like, hey, he's like, dude, I'm always messing with you, dude. Like, you literally just was like, yo, you just stay on the couch in the hotel room. I'm like, yeah, go ahead, dude.
Yep.
Yeah, so fast forwarding, so you moved to Omaha, then me and Focus come up Omaha, and then that's when me and Focus took like, it'd be like National Lampoon's road trip. We
Mhm.
literally drove from St. Louis through Iowa, hung out in Iowa for 2 days, then
Yep.
came to Omaha, hang out with y'all for like 3 or 4 days, and then it snowed right, literally me and Focus. I tell people all the time, it was like divine intervention. We would have not have made it to Omaha. Me and him just woke up at like 3 in the morning, and we was like, "Do you just want to ride?" We went out for New Year's Eve that night and kicked it, but it was hard even getting there. It was still snow. Like it wasn't no joke snow.
Yep.
Yeah,
That was 06, huh?
yeah. That was you were working for Union Pacific, right?
No, I was working for the Veterans Affairs Healthcare Center.
Veterans Affairs. Why did I think Union was Union
Because
Pacific?
UP is there, yeah. A lot of people work there. That's why.
Yeah, and the Omaha is one of the only cities and places my cell phone would just cut out, and it would be like
Terrible
reception.
Terrible. And they don't have a lot of towers for like T-Mobile or whatever. Because I had T-Mobile back in those days. Like my phone broke and I had T-Mobile. I had to end up getting a whole new phone through Sprint because T-Mobile didn't even have stores there.
Wow. Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, no, the service for cell phones was whack back in 06.
Yeah, I mean, look, because we end up kicking at your house the day.
Yeah, I legit was like applying for jobs at my job. I was like, I got to go. Omaha is not it, yo. It is not.
Yeah.
Shout out to Omaha. I mean, like I made some amazing friends and met some amazing sorors out there in Omaha. So, got love for Omaha, but it was just not the place for me.
So then you go to LA then, right?
I went back home. So that's when I came home.
So maybe that's about 6 months or so?
4 years.
You was there for 4 years? So that's the period I remember you being back.
Yep. And 3 days before I left Omaha, I got a call from Boeing saying I got the job.
That's right. You were working for Boeing. That's right.
Yep. I had a panel phone interview at work one day. My little office. I had a little like closet office. But I was like, I'm fine because I can shut this door and y'all don't know what's going on. So I shut my little door, had my little phone conference with Boeing. They told me I had the job and I was, shouting, okay? 3 days before I left Omaha, I got that call that I got that job. And I was at Boeing for 3.5 years.
Yeah.
Working in their supply chain logistics group, I was buying military aircraft parts, missile parts, like fighter planes, cargo planes, and missiles. Yeah.
Because they didn't renew your contract there, and then that's when you moved to LA, right?
Right. So they had a big layoff.
Yep.
Like 10,000 people back in 2010.
Yep. Yeah, that was a big layoff. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I hung out in St. Louis for a little bit. And at the time I started doing background vocals for Aloha Michelle.
Aloha, the Knuckles.
Yeah.
Now the Knuckles. Her and Rockwell, yes.
Yep. But I did backgrounds for her for a whole year back in 2010. And golly, I was singing so much back then. I was doing backgrounds for Coco Soul on occasion. She's out here now.
Oh, she's in LA?
In Atlanta for a minute, but now she's here. But yeah, I was singing for everybody and then doing praise team at church, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I have a mentor named Gerald Haddon, and he was like, Reach, what you gonna do? He's like, you ain't got no husband, no kids. You ain't got no job. You wanna be... you want to do entertainment, you got to go to New York or LA. What's it going to be? And at the time I was 28 when he was talking to me about all this. And at the time also I was managing an artist, and my business partners and I decided to try to boost her career out here as well. So we decided that I would move to LA and that she would come out a little bit later while I got my footing or what have you. And we moved on out. So yeah, I moved to LA August 2011. So I literally just celebrated my 10th anniversary. 10 years. Yeah. Crazy, so right?
So no, like this is just, people don't understand. This is the beginning of the story. This is just the preamble.
Right.
Everything that's dope. Reesha already did a whole bunch of dope stuff. We getting into like, that was like the prequels for a movie, like now we finna get into like, dope shit now. So I know when you came there, I believe, am I wrong or right, you were working for Sony?
NBC Universal.
Yeah. I know that's when you came out, you were there with them, and then you were with them for a while, and then is that when you got linked up doing Moore's Day and the Time background?
So actually, no, that was the first year I moved here. Yeah, I did Moore's Day maybe like 2 or 3 months in. No, matter of fact, it was definitely 2 months in because I was still living outside of LA then. So I must have done Morris Day back in like September 2011. So my girl, shout out to Carla Carter, an amazing vocalist and songwriter who works with Jimmy
Grammy,
Jam.
put some respect on the name. Grammy.
Yes, for sure.
You're a Grammy winner too, Reesha. We have to let people know that as well. But I'm just saying, I want everybody to get all their accolades.
Grammy award winning
Yes.
singer-songwriter Carla Carter. She was working with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis at the time. And they were going back, they had just gone back into the studio to record an album called The Original Seven.
Right, to reform the
Morris Day. Yep, it was Morris Day in the time, but they had to change their name because
rest in peace, and I love him, but he's very not shady. He's very
controlling. How your label did you?
Am I involved in this?
Right.
No, then you can't use the name.
Right. Yeah. So they
The
have
time is mine. But he did come up with the name The Time though, so I got to give him that.
Well, I guess. But whatever. So yeah, so Carla and I did background vocals. Well, she hit me and was like, sis, I got called to do some background vocals with Morris Day at the time. I was like, what? That's amazing. And at the time I had been doing it and she knew I'd been, put a bit, that's what I had been doing for a while at that point. And so she was calling to, for some advice and, because she's a lead singer. Like she doesn't really do a whole lot of backgrounds unless she's in the studio. And I was like, dude, that's such a dope opportunity. And so she hit me like a few days later and was like, yo, they need one more singer. Are you available? And I was like, yeah. She was like, well, send me some, video of you singing. And I was like, okay, cool. So I sent her some stuff and she's like, bet, they love you. Like, let's go. So I went to the rehearsals and legit, like Morris Day is as cool as he appears to be. Cool. And yeah, he had a little baby. I think that kid was like,
yeah, no. I know he's got a young kid. I know that.
Yeah, the kid was like 3 or so when I saw him or her. I can't remember what it was, but I think it was a boy. But yeah, so he out here, what I'm saying? He out here, he cool. But it was just such an amazing experience. We sang on Jay Leno, met Jay. Like he was so cool and accommodating and kind. I mean, to be singing Jungle Love with Morris Day in the time, like I still am amazed at that. You know what I'm saying? I actually just sent Carla a reminder. I went to the African American History Museum with the Smithsonian in DC, and they have an exhibit of Jungle Love, like at the Smithsonian. I was like, oh my God, like I legit sang this song with them. It's crazy. So yeah, I did that. What else did I do that first year? I did a bunch of stuff, but that definitely is one of my like top 5 moments in my singing career for sure.
So no, you're still working for Universal at the same time doing this.
No, I did that before I joined Universal. So shortly after that, I joined Universal. So that was 2011. I joined Universal in 2012.
Okay, I thought you were doing it either simultaneously. I thought that you were doing it simultaneously
I was still singing, but I didn't do that then. Yeah.
So then you were over there. You went to Universal. You were doing Universal. Let everybody what you were doing at Universal.
Sure, I was working for Universal Pictures in their home entertainment division. And so it was my job to manage suppliers and keep track of inventory. So, and also handle quality control issues. So I had to, like, if you were to buy a Blu-ray, you say you bought, I don't know, what's the Universal time? The Minions, whatever. I would, manage buying the discs and the cases and the shrink wrap and the stickers and everything, the picture graphics that go around the case. Like I would manage all those pieces to make sure we have enough to build out the entire product that you see in the store. And then say, for instance, if there was a quality issue, so say you ordered it off Amazon and it came to you and it was defective, Amazon would call me and be like, hey, Reesh, Darryl needs a new DVD and we need to figure out where his defective item came from, because there's a likelihood that if his item is defective, that whole exactly. Yeah. So we'd have to get down to the nitty gritty of that too. So yeah, that's what I did for NBC Universal on the Universal Picture side of the house. But also I was very involved with the Black Employee Network. I sat on the board for that and also managed the community outreach leg of the Black Employee Network. So it was my job to, come up with different initiatives that our employee base could do to go out into the community on behalf of the company. So I did that as well.
So how did you get into the acting, the sketches? And that's where it really started to go super explosion for you or the other stuff. And we'll come back to your Grammy in a second, but I wanted to touch there first.
Sure. So one of my really good friends, Ken Edwin, he's a phenomenal comedian. I met him through my homegirl, LJ, who also is a comedian. And so LJ connected Ken and I, and we established a friendship. And he one day randomly hit me like, yo, Reese, you want to, because he knows I act. He was like, yo, you want to do some sketches with me? And I was like, bet, I'm down. Because to me, actors want to act, singers want to sing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, damn, I'm down. Let's go. So we just started doing them and people love them. So, and really it's so fun because we do improvisation on those things. Like Ken will come up with different story beats that he wants us to hit, but then we just go, you know what I'm saying? And it makes it so fun. So yeah, I'm excited that people love those sketches because honestly, I do them and forget about them, you know what I'm saying? And so I'll be out somewhere and be like, people be like, ah, and I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, that's me. I don't even be thinking about it though, but yeah, they be getting mad love. I appreciate y'all for that.
Yeah, no, they was funny. I was like, and it's like I know you too, so I was like, I know. It's just like, especially when it's improv, you're like, oh, yeah. What makes it funny? You're like, oh yeah, that sounds about this. Did you do any sketches with Tahir?
No, I haven't done any with him. I would love to. I gotta tell him. I told him before, but I don't even think he's really doing sketches anymore for real.
Yeah, I think he's moving in a different direction.
Yeah, but I have to tell him if he ever does them again, he can, holler at your girl. But
yeah, I'm proud of all y'all cats, man, because like the real thing is people's when people think we exaggerate when we say you can't spell hustle without STL. That's a real thing for us. That's a real thing because it's so hard. We got to get it from the mud here. So, we got to
we're not afraid of getting our hands dirty at all.
Right. So, yeah. So then you start getting really heavy into the acting thing. Would you start? Shout out to Gino before I even jump into this. Gino, short story. He was one of my first big interviews on me and Javon's podcast back in 2012. When he had the show with Isaac Keys. What was that show? The Therapist. And we had him on the pod. He came on, it was during over phone. This was before Zoom and all this. So we had to plug my phone into the board, you know what I'm saying, do all that stuff. But he's one of the first ones, man. And so you helped work with him on Black Boots.
Yes.
How was that with the because Black Boots, explain to people what Black Boots is though. Shout out to Gino, man.
Sure.
I need to get him on. I need to get him on there too, though. Again.
Oh, you do. He's doing some phenomenal things now, man. He is definitely grown and matured in his craft. It's been such an honor and blessing to watch him and to be a part of some of the stuff that he's been doing. He's actually on my show too. But yeah, Gino, he told me about Black Boots before he got it going, and at first I was like, oh no, I need to see it, because Black Boots, for those who haven't seen it, it's about an HBCU. Gino went to Wilberforce, so he could definitely tell that story authentically. And he's also an alpha, so it's centered around Black Greekdom, if you will. And so that's a touchy subject for me. I don't particularly like portraying our organizations on screen.
You haven't seen Burning Sands. Oh no, me and you talked about this, didn't we?
I did see Burning Sands.
But did we talk about this a couple years ago?
You know what? I think we did the last time I was at home.
Yeah, but this is back when me and folks' daughters were young, though.
We may have talked about it. I don't know.
It was after Christmas. It was during Christmas though, because we was hanging out at your parents' house.
Okay.
Yeah.
I felt the thing about Gino with Black Boots, I felt like it was very tasteful. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like he didn't go overboard. I felt like he told just great stories. But before he even got into it, I remember meeting him through Misha Sampson. Yeah, she did. And so that's how I met him.
That's how I met him.
And good on Mish. But yeah, so I met him through her, and he told me about Black Boots, and he was like, I'm gonna have to like, create a role for you or something. And so when he was doing a scene, he hit me up. This was in 2013. And the reason why I know that is because Will was in town and it was right before Kennedy was born. So yeah, so that was 2013. He called me to do some extra work for a scene and ended up literally improvising a scene for me. So
Wow.
like he was like, okay, Reesha, I need you to come up here and be the assistant to the president. And he was like, say this. And so I said whatever he said, and then I was able to improv a line or two in that scene. And then I had a role. He brought me back for 2 more episodes in Black Boot, 2 or more episodes, because I was in 2 seasons. And so yeah, he held true to his word. Like, one thing about Gino is that, he is definitely a man of his word. He is always coming up with super dope concepts. And again, another Midwesterner from Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago.
It's something about Midwestern folks. We have a work ethic that's like none other. I think that's why we get along so well with New Yorkers, because although we go about things differently, the work ethic is the same. You know what I'm saying? So like, we respect each other in a huge way. But yeah, Gino's work ethic is impeccable, and I'm super duper excited for him. I was able to pull him to direct episodes.
Johnson, it's like brothers.
But it feels like the brothers,
Yeah, that's why it is. I'm like, this is bro. No, it's not. It's called Johnson.
Yeah, Johnson. Yeah, he directed an episode. No, I'm sorry, directed four episodes. 4 episodes, yeah. And he wrote 1 episode. So yeah.
So let's go into your Grammy, man. Let's get this Grammy out the way. If y'all don't know, my sister was in Kanye's choir. The infamous Sunday Soul?
Sunday Service.
All right.
Sunday Service Collective, yeah.
Sunday Service Collective Choir. And also, was that Sunday, what was the name of the album?
This album was named, what was the name of that album?
My mind keeps on going to the what you call the song, No Church on Sundays. Shout out to my dude, he's a super dope MC. He writes for Kanye. No Church on Sundays. Oh man, what you call it?
Jesus is King is the name of the album.
Jesus is King is the name of the album. The rapper I'm talking about is oh man, it's No Dope on Sundays. I'm sorry, that's why. It's
okay.
He wrote been writing a lot of Kanye stuff recently. He's on Soul Paul. He's the main dude, the dopest dude on Soul Paul. And his albums and mixtapes are good too. He's out of Atlanta, but he writes for Kanye. He's on good music. No reason I was in my mind. I don't know why I thought in my mind No Church on Sundays was his album's called No Dope on Sundays. You can't sell dope on Sundays because of God. So
right.
Combined all of it together. So how did you get involved with that?
Sure. So I had been doing background vocals with this vocal contractor named Jason White for years. And he called 40 people ended up being a part of that first wave of singers. And so I was a part of that first group who got the call. So I didn't have to audition or anything, which was a blessing to me because I hate audition.
Yeah. So going back to the beginning of the interview,
just let me do what I do. I do it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I got connected to Jason White through my choir director at church years prior to, and my first gig with Jason was doing backgrounds for R. Kelly at the Clive Davis Grammy Gala.
And I'm assuming you're okay. You was fine. He
did talk to me though, because I got a baby face. So
yeah, he's like, was you around when Leah died? Oh, well then no, I thought she was just born.
It was cool, but yeah, no. So that was my first gig with Jason though, and I have been singing with him ever since. So we did, TV Land Awards and just all kind of stuff. And he called me for this. It's so crazy because the bottom of 2018, I was like, man, I miss singing in the choir because I left the church that I was going to at the time. So I wasn't ministering in that way, anymore. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, I got this strong urge to sing again. And then maybe like not even a week later, I saw something on Instagram where Jason had posted about, singing at some award show or something like that. And I was like, I ain't heard from Jason in a minute. I miss singing with him. Like, I wonder what's going on. I need to get back on his radar somehow. And literally like 4 or 5 days later, I got a random text from his partner saying, A-list artist, this is the date, these are the rates, can you do it, tell me now. And I was like, yes. You know, I didn't even know what artist it was, you know what I'm saying? And so they said it was Kanye, and at first I was like, okay, wait a minute. Because, you know, there's a lot going on with our mans, you know.
Yeah.
We love
We
Kanye.
talked about that, man. We talked about that when you came in town that time.
Yeah. But, you know, I was like, I got to pray about this. And so I did. I took it to the Father, you know what I'm saying? And what came back to me, Swiss, was, you know, how many times have I worked in a corporate setting where I didn't like who I was working with, or I didn't agree with their politics? What did I do? I focused on the goal and got the job done. And the other thing was, you know, the Holy Spirit was like, you've been praying for this brother for years, you know, which I have been, because, you know, literally he lost his mom when he lost his mama.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he talked about that. And so, you know, we can say what we're going to do in certain situations, but we don't know what we're going to do until we're in that situation. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is to always pray for folks, because we don't know what people are going through and what it's going to take to help them get out of it. You know what I'm saying? So I legit have been praying for that brother for years. And so, yeah, that's what came to me. And I was like, okay, cool. I'll go and do the job and knock it out. And what I thought would be a week, you know, a weekend gig turned into a year and a quarter. We sang every single Sunday or weekend throughout 2019 up through the first quarter of 2020.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how did it feel when you got a Grammy though?
Man, you know, when I saw that he won that Grammy, I was so excited, because I'm like, man, like this is
because you're part of the project. I mean, you know, even more, you're part of the project, all that stuff.
Yeah, I was just really excited for him, because I remember him saying, he said this before, so I can say this, but I remember him saying that, you know, people said that he was going to lose his career because he was doing this. He was like, but God told me I got to do it, so I got to do it, you know? And one thing about Kanye West that I really appreciate is that when he says he's going to do something, he does it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he sticks to it, no matter how far-fetched or outlandish it seems. Like, he goes for the gut. Like, he literally lives, he thinks out there. Like, he thinks beyond what most people can really visualize. But he just, you know, he literally is a genius, and very kind. He has a very strong servant leadership to him too. Like, we would need water sometimes, and he go get it himself and pass it out to the choir. Or if something needed sweeping up, he go get a broom and sweep it up. Like, he was never above any task. You know what I'm saying? And just like I said, very kind. I mean, he took good care of us. You know, if he knew about it, if there was an issue and he knew about it, it was handled. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I have mad love for Kanye West, man. I continue to pray for that brother. And, you know, yeah, he employed a lot of, I mean, listen, at one point we had 150 people in our choir, and then you counting like a 20-30 piece band and production, you know what I'm saying, and sound, so and you know, locations, you know what I'm saying. So he literally was employing anywhere from 100 to 200 people every week. You know, nobody does that, Swiss.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Kanye West is phenomenal, and people can talk about him all they want to, but I will never, because, you know, we don't know what that brother deals with on a daily basis. And he did nothing but show me love. Did I agree with everything that he did or said? Of course not. I don't agree with everything that I do or say.
Right. I didn't agree with everything I did yesterday.
Right. Nobody's perfect. You know what I mean? So, like, it's like, we just gotta, we're all saved by grace, man. And not to get too preachy, but I'm just like, nobody's perfect. So I'm not gonna sit here and judge that man. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. And that's his life to live. You know what I'm saying? All I can do is support folks when I see they're trying to do better. Just like I hope somebody would support me when I'm trying to do better. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I had me and Matt are coming out on our next episode of the scenario, the top 25 sellouts of all time, like the basketball polls, you know, like when you go to the NCAA tournament, we're doing it for sellouts. And previously on our last episode, I said we need to exclude Kanye out of this. I don't want to talk about anybody that's going through mental strain. I want full-on sellouts on my top 25 sellouts. Just dig the Nate Hills. It has been a sellout where it's no question you tap dancing. I want the full tap. I don't want where it's like it's a tap dance under duress or it's some. I want you to be fully involved in the tap dance.
Fair.
I said like Kanye's maybe going through some mental things. I in my heart put him on the top 25 sellouts of all time with a pure heart, knowing what he's been through. Yeah. Clarence Thomas,
I like that.
Definitely on there. Candace Owens rising to the top, rising every day. She's in a different area, and she's unadulterated, just rising up. So, just people like that. I have one that's going to trip people out. I kind of think that Tina Turner might be on the also receiving votes area of that on the low. If you look at some of her documentaries and stuff, she didn't stop. She didn't fuck with black people after 79.
Really?
Have you seen her new documentary on HBO?
I haven't seen it. I gotta check it out.
Go look at it and go look at her whole band. Everybody she was hanging out with after she left Ike. It wasn't a black person to be found.
Wow.
I'm not saying she'd sell out because I know it's a joke. It's in joke, but it's just something that I think people. I don't think you really trip off of it, especially our age. We're not. Yeah. We were young, so you just take Tina Turner for what it is, and then you see the documentary. You're like,
wait a minute.
You hang out with no black people at all. When I'm talking about at all, Oprah is the only black person she hangs out with.
Wow.
Oprah don't count. She got money. She a billionaire. That's basically, I ain't, I ain't black, I'm Oprah, basically. Like literally she can say that. So yeah, so what I'm saying is Kanye's will not be on the scenarios comprehensive top 25 sellout list. He will not be on there in the poll. So and I will not let him be there. I put it out there and it's online and I said it that we had to give Kanye some grace for what he's going through. There's plenty of other sellouts for us to put on this list. And there's a long line of them. He is not need to be on there. It is plenty of us for the.
Yes, I agree. That's love. That's love. That's love. Because not enough people give him grace. You know what I'm saying?
But I'm gonna give him grace and not put him on the top 25 sellout list. I did put him on the OJ Infinity Gauntlet at one point, and I was like, we can't do that. You seen the Avengers, right, with the Infinity Gauntlet? So we got an OJ.
That's hilarious.
I'm gonna send you the episode with me and Matt, bro. So every gym is different. So
that's hilarious.
OJ is number one. Did I send you the picture of me meeting OJ?
No.
I mean OJ. What? I have a whole episode I talk about meeting OJ.
Stop playing.
In Vegas.
Where? Of course, in Vegas.
On Father's Day. It was Father's Day weekend. Yes.
She in there because she needs to be there.
See, everyone asked me that. But all the other kids were there except for one of the daughters. One of Nicole Brown's sons was there. And then you had, hold on, I'm gonna blow it up on the screen here for everybody. We was gonna do a little thing here. So Arnell was there. Shout out to Arnell, still looking good at 50-some years old. Okay. Hold on, I'm gonna pull it up here. So you can see this. We're just gonna do a little show and tell on here real quick.
Okay.
I'm gonna share my screen with you. There you go.
What? Stop playing. Wow. She looked just like her daddy boy.
Man, in Henderson Father's Day brunch.
Wow, that's crazy.
And so I saw the juice. So I walk in, I see the juice. I'm gonna cut this out the episode, but I have to tell you this now since we talking about it. I see the juice. We make eye contact. We're the only black people in there. So it's me, Lexi family. So Lexi's dad moved to Vegas.
Okay.
So we went out there to see him for Father's Day and hang out. Mm-hmm. So I see the juice. He sees me, see him. Yeah. I give him the thumbs up. He points at me. I leave back out. I call Matt and I'm like, yo, Matt, yo, the juice is, no, he didn't pick up. And I was like, yo, the juice is here. He was like, no, I called him 3 times. Then I said like, the juice is here. He immediately calls me, do you mean OJ? I was like, yes, he is. He was like, you have to get pictures with him and talk to him. So I didn't want to bum rush his spot because there was so many white people just, oh my God, Juice, can you take a picture with me? Take a picture with me. And I'm like, I'm gonna let, he's with his full family for Father's Day. Mm-hmm. So I sit over in the corner, not a corner with our table, but I feel like, so he comes over to our table and goes, hey, this is so nigga shit though. Don't you, I got all my kids out with me for Father's Day. Father don't mean his kid's life. Like, you see me with my kids, right?
Oh, me, all my kids.
I got all my kids but one. And so I immediately start counting, like, because I was like, oh, he's talking about Chloe. And so it was the other one. I realized it was the other one. The other one for Nicole. And I was like, ooh, he talking about, I was like, is he giving me the scoop?
Right.
And then he was like, I was like, can I get a picture, OJ? And Arnell, that's why the picture, like, because Arnell is like, Daddy, we gotta go. Because she know how he is. So that's how I ended up just getting that shot there. Actually, Lexi's dad got the shot of him with that right there.
That's dope, man. What? I love it. The fucking juice.
So we made an infinity gauntlet with the juice. That Bill Cosby's on there, R. Kelly, Kanye, Candace Owens, and Clarence Thomas.
Oh my goodness.
So it was hard. But anyway, let's get back into it. So after the Kanye things, how do you get into doing the John? Like, how is this whole process? You become the EP on the Johnsons, this show, dope show. I was in there, you know, I've had to bootleg the preview because I missed the original preview, but now I'm locked in on bouncetv.com. Go there.
In elementary school, we all had to line up in alphabetical order for lunch. These guys were next to me because we all had the same last name. These guys are my brothers.
I was calling you because I was wondering if you've seen Greg.
Well, he's working right now.
So he's with you right now.
I can't hear you.
Okay, bye.
He's just hung up. You believe that?
I sure can. Men don't break the code, girl.
She got you cooking breakfast. She got you home for the street lights. Come on, what are you running from?
I'm not running, I'm walking fast.
Yeah, well, you walking fast from the truth. Trust me, man, you don't want to lose that.
You kids these days, y'all get with somebody because they fine or if they got a lot of followers. Fine ain't gonna raise your kids right.
You don't have to fight me on everything.
It's funny how when I don't submit, you see it as a fight.
She's hardly home, work's a top priority.
Everybody grows. Most people grow apart.
So where are your friends you always come here with? It's really good to see the bond that you guys have. No, real friends, they're rare.
Jarvis needs to hear the truth sometimes, okay? He's been tripping lately.
Your truth isn't Jarvis's truth, Greg.
And I think sometimes we can be overly sensitive. And white people are tired of us talking about this.
Who, like your wife, Lisa?
Things just ain't the same with Greg and me. Like I've changed or something. Black women weren't checking for me when I didn't have nothing. Now I got something. All of a sudden I sold out. My mother used to say to me that if you listen to someone long enough, they'll tell you who they really are. I hear you loud and clear.
It is damn hard to find a way to grow together, but you got to concentrate on the simple things you did when you first met. Hold on to them.
What y'all brothers is on?
That's right. Just different moms and dads.
Johnson, an all-new Bounce original series, premieres August 1st.
Get it? You know what I'm saying? If you're not in the Bounce TV radius, St. Louis is not. Yeah, we not out.
Y'all should. Well, it depends on.
I got 18.
Oh yeah, it's not on AT&T. So like, if you have,
I go to the website.
Is it on the website?
The you gotta wait a couple of weeks to get the previous episode.
Got it. Okay.
It ain't up to date.
They have brown sugar too.
Right. Yeah, you get the Brown Sugar app as well.
Yeah.
So explain the show, how you got involved, and give the people the premise of, you know, what the show is, all that good stuff.
Sure. So Johnson on Bounce TV, it is a project that was created by a guy named Deji Luray, who also is one of the executive producers, and he's also one of the leads. He plays the character Greg on the show. Okay. And so he wrote
You're doing a little Spike Lee stuff where I'm gonna put myself in it too. Like I've never do.
Yeah. So he wrote this the pilot about 6 years ago.
Wow.
And he ended up meeting Thomas shortly thereafter, maybe 2 years later. And they shot up
Thomas Jones too, though, who is seamlessly transition careers and can tell you and showing you like that you don't get stuck in one thing of having to only be an athlete and only known as athlete or whatever you are. If you want to go for after something else, you can switch it up if you're good at it.
Yeah, like he legit didn't know anything about acting until he got into it, you know? And so I tell him all the time, like, I'm just really proud of him because to your point, what you just said, like he literally has changed careers, you know, and he's known for acting. You know, there are some people who don't even know him as a football player. They know him as an actor. So
everybody in Friley Hall knows on October.
But yeah, so like he, you know, he's doing such a great job with that. So yeah, he and Deji are producing partners rather. And I ended up meeting Thomas in 2016 through a mutual friend of ours. He was in a short film that she was producing. Shout out to Natasha Ward. And I was actually assisting her because she's a casting director and producer. And when I left NBC Universal, I was trying to really get my feet wet into casting as well as music supervising. So I was reaching out to all my friends who were in those two spaces to learn more about it, just to see if it was something I really, really wanted to get into. And so I told Tosh, I was like, yo, I'll help you, you know, I'll assist you with whatever you need. And, you know, you don't have to pay me. I just want to learn, you know? And so I helped her cast this short film in addition to like a Bill Duke project and some other stuff that she was doing. And Thomas and Tori Hart were the leads in the short film. So it was my job to connect them via email. I had to call Thomas and Tori to make sure they knew where to go and all that good stuff and what the, you know, just the logistics of what was going on with the project. And so I had never met him in person though. So that was 2016. Then fast forward to 2018, I was at a cookout. My mentor had a cookout and in comes Thomas and Deji. And so when I saw Thomas, I was like, hey, we've met before, but not in person. I was like, I'm Reesha. I helped Natasha with their project you were in a couple of years ago. He was like, oh yeah, I remember that. So he remembered the whole scenario. And we got to talking, went to exchange information. And he had my number still, and I had his number still. So we laughed at that. Didn't keep in touch, like we said. Then we ended up bumping into each other at this spot called The Dime out here in LA. And we're like, we got to get together still. So we got together and he showed me Johnson. Like he literally was like, we were in a loud space. So he was showing me the pilot on his phone, but telling me.
He had shot the pilot already.
Yes. They had shot the pilot. So Deji wrote it 6 years ago. They shot the pilot 4 years ago.
Okay.
And so
is that the pilot that we see when we see the show, or it's repackaged and stuff?
Yeah. Because the pilot was shot in LA and the pilot for Johnson is in Atlanta now.
Right.
Yeah. So he was showing me the pilot and I was like, yo, and like telling me what it was about. And I was like, yo, this is dope. Like, please send this to me because like this show reminds me of the men in my family. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, like this reminds me of my uncles and my daddy and my cousins and my ex-boyfriends and, you know, just the great men in my life. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's perfect and they deal with crazy situations, but that's life. You know what I'm saying? And it honestly reminded me of, like, Thomas described it to me as like the male insecure, but I like to describe it as if the best man or the brothers were on television, it would be Johnson.
Right, like if it was more developed as a serial series instead of a movie.
Exactly. So yeah, so I was like, please send this to me. And so he did. I sent it to my team. I work for Cedric the Entertainer and Eric Rohn's production company.
Yo, man, STL, stay together, boy.
We stay together, man. And yo, like, man, I love those men so much. I had in 2018, I started working with them. I had just started working on Luke Cage. And
yeah, I forgot those other with the Cheo stuff, man.
Slipping, cuz.
So you worked on Luke Cage too? Oh, that's I know that. I'm just everybody else to know. Like, okay, keep going.
It's all good.
I'm a horrible interviewer.
I got off. No, you've been doing great. You remember a lot of stuff that I was like, wasn't even thinking of. But I just got the job on Luke, and I hit up Eric just to, like, you know, tell him what was going on with me. So for those who don't know Eric Rohn is like the man behind the man. Like he's Cedric's manager.
I always want to give Eric Rohn, if this is a small story, he came to one of Free Time's first events and showed us super love.
Really?
When we start doing, do you remember we was doing Thursdays at Posh? He came through there and he was like, y'all young. He's like, y'all got it sophisticated up in here. Because we had the band with the DJ, and he came in with two other cats. They was just sitting there chilling with some wine and chilling out. And he told me and Roy, and he was like, y'all got something going here, man. And he's like, y'all young, but this is sophisticated. That's the only time I ever met him. So that's
he is dope, man. When I tell you he looks out for St. Louis so tough.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I already know.
He STL through and through. Like
did he go to SEMO with Cedric?
He did. That's how they met.
Is that fraternity brothers too, right?
They are, yep. And he's in managing set since college.
Really? That long?
Yep. That long.
That's some down by law.
Yep. Wow. And so like he's been the one like, managing everything for SED and working out deals for SED and other people, just he's that dude. Like, I mean, of course, in St. Louis, he sits on all kind of boards and has his own foundation with his wife and just does a lot of great things in the community in St. Louis. And so I reached out to him because he's like a big brother to me. So I would like reach out, and just check in with him throughout the time I was in LA. And when I got the job on Luke, I was like, yeah, Eric, I got this job on Luke Cage. And at the time I had a film that was a finalist with the Gentleman Jack Reel to Reel competition. Jack Daniels, Gentleman Jack had a...
Yeah, which one was that? I did, I helped sponsor. I mean, that was one of my sponsors. Which one was that one with the girl that had the...
Yeah, Daddy's Big Girl. The little girl had died.
Yeah.
Yeah, But I'm sorry, not the little girl died. The daddy died, but she could see her daddy. Yeah.
Yep.
Daddy's Big Girl. So yeah, I helped produce that, and that ended up winning that competition. So like all that was happening at the same time. And so I hit Eric just to let him know what was going on. And he was like, let's get together. I'm in LA right now. I was like, okay, cool. So I got together with him. And he was like, well, we just got this contract with CBS and we're looking to expand our team by 2 executives. I would love to pitch you. And I was like, oh, whatever that means. Oh, yeah. So, I mean, because at that time I had produced so many things. I was a story associate producer on a TV show with Shawnee O'Neal and her kids. Her and Shaq's kids. I had done some other, that was on VH1. I had done another pilot for Lifetime. I had produced several short films and a feature documentary. So I had definitely gotten my, in another, independent TV show. So I had really gotten my feet wet in the production realm. And so yeah, when he asked me to do it, I was like, okay, cool. Like, I didn't know what it all entailed, but I'm like, if Eric Rohn sees something valuable in me that, would be value added to his team, then you better go ahead and say yes. You know what I'm saying? So we had a meeting. He pitched it to SED and we had a meeting with his wife, who I know as well. Shout out to Angie Rohn. And the next thing I know, they like, bet you on. So I've been working with Eric and Cedric since 2018.
So is this The Neighborhood, all those shows as well?
So I don't work directly on The Neighborhood, but
because I knew you said the CBS deal. That's why I think you was in the CBS.
Yeah, the Neighborhood is up under the Bird and a Bear umbrella. It is one of their shows that they produce. Yes, but so they have a first look deal with CBS. So for instance, what that means is if you have a project and we acquire it and develop it, we take it to CBS first because they have to. So
you had to take the brothers to CBS first. Not the brothers. Why do I keep calling it the brothers? Johnson. You had to take Johnson to CBS first.
Yep. And then I took it around town and everybody loved it, but they didn't pick it up. I took it to Bounce. And I set up a meeting with the head of programming over at Scripps. He's one of the executive vice presidents, David Hudson over at Scripps. And Scripps is the parent company to like Bounce and Court TV and Ion and all these other networks. And so took it to David. He loved it. We had a meeting in January of 2020 and he loved it. I set up the meeting with him, Deji Thomas, Eric and I, and he loved it immediately. Like, he's a brother though, so he got it right out the gate.
Yeah,
you know?
you relate to it.
Yeah. So
and honestly, no disrespect to CBS in saying this, but I don't think CBS would have been able, even if that wouldn't have been a show that was going to be supported well on CBS's network anyway. So that was a blessing by not having to be able to go there, because CBS is, I wouldn't say it's a dying network. I just feel that it's the oldest of all the major networks, the way they're programming it.
yeah, and they're trying to fix it.
I know they are, but they're not going to support a show called Johnson and on CBS. Come on, man. This ain't 85.
The thing I love about Bounce too is that they gave us a lot of creative control.
Right. Johnson would have had one white guy on there in the Johnson crew.
Who knows what it.
And his last name, he'd have been Johnson, but it'd been Wesley Johnson.
Right.
And I ain't talking about Wesley Jonathan, who's like my third cousin.
Right.
Johnson, not Jonathan. Just it's a Wesley Johnson.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean by Wesley.
You're right.
So that's what I'm saying. It wouldn't have been three. It wouldn't have been brothers. It'd have been, oh, we need to throw Hispanic. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I love the purity of that show and how it's just black dudes.
So authentic.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that you don't have authentic relationships like that in general, but I personally needed to see a relationship like that. That's for me.
Yes, we all do.
Yeah.
And even they do too, because, largely in part, we don't really see our brothers portrayed as human beings. You know what I'm saying? We see them portrayed as thugs or deadbeat dads or, abusers or whatever they are. We don't see them as people like you or like my brother or like my daddy or like my uncles. You know what I'm saying? Or all of our, the great men in our lives. We don't see them portrayed that way on TV. And although y'all ain't perfect, like, everybody, we're all flawed, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But just good human beings, you know what I'm saying? And that's the typical Black male, you know what I'm saying? Most Black men who have kids are in their kids' lives. They try to portray it a different way. And, or if they aren't in their lives, there's some type of stipulation that's keeping them from there. You know what I'm saying? Like needing government assistance. You can't have a man in the home if you have government assistance. You know what I'm saying? So there are all these little traps they put in place for our people and then try to blame it on us. And it's like, no, like y'all put these systems in place on purpose to keep us segregated. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna get off this.
No, dude, look, this is a soapbox, a free soapbox area.
But yeah, like I'm so excited about this show because, it's telling a narrative that not only is, Black male point of view centric, it's also showing, the Black women too. The Black women are very strong on this show. There are different types of Black women on this show, just like there are different types of Black men on this show. I love how with the core group of Black men, everyone is different. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody's the cool guy. Not everybody's the straight-laced, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
the is the great class act Brooks brother, the brothers Brooks.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, it's shows.
And you know what I love, and it's a term I always said, and it's actually not my term. It actually comes from Mos Def, and he says, "We the niggas are kings or bitches are queens. Ain't no in between. We either gotta be the highest of anything in Blackness, or we the most downgraded anything in the dirt." And most of us is in between here. Most of us in between being a king and being a nigga, or be a queen and being a bitch in his analogy.
It's true. But yeah, this show shows the layers of Black people, and I love it. Like we have a character who's the quirky one, he's like the Ryan, he's like the Childish Gambino of the group. You know what I'm saying?
But it's so many crews like that. I mean, it's
so many. It's so authentic. This show is so authentic, and it had to be on something like a Bounce because, we have to be able to tell our stories as they are. We cannot afford to water them down. I mean, we have to water it down in some regard anyway, because it's PG-13.
Yeah.
So we can't get it. Yeah, but you still get the gist of what's happening. You know what I'm saying? And I'm really excited. There have been talks about a season 2. I don't know what that is yet, but if there is a season 2, I know that it's going to
be. I mess with Bounce. One of my favorite shows on Bounce is Saints and Sinners. I'm a Saints and Sinners fan. I've been rocking with Saints and Sinners since season 1. Oh man, I
gotta check it out. I heard it's a really good show. I've seen clips of it.
Look, it is black soap opera at its best. Look, do you remember the TV show, the soap opera Passions?
Yeah, I didn't watch Passions.
But
okay.
You'd be like, Victor Newman's still alive. I thought he got pushed off the bridge, shot at, and burned, and he lived.
So I have to check it out.
Yeah, you'd be like, he's still alive. He got an evil twin.
That's hilarious. Listen,
who would have knew we had to kill all 3 of them?
I love me some Clifton Powell. I always just say Pinky.
Look, man, I've written like random things in my head that I just want to cast him in my mind, just for random roles, like man at the gas station, not like a major role, just to be bit roles throughout the series. Like just Clifton Powell's all these random people.
I love him, man. Did you see him in
good.
Black Lightning? You see him in Black Lightning?
Yes. Come on now. Look, Clifton Powell putting work in for 30, 40 years.
He has. He's so dope. I'm glad that he's still working out here in these streets.
Once again, working everybody, check out Johnson. So we got to go into my rapid fire questions. These are hard hitting questions.
Oh boy. So yeah, everybody can check out Johnson on Bounce TV. If you don't have Bounce, because it isn't everywhere on your cable provider, if you have an antenna, it's on free TV. So, I know a lot of people cut the cord. So, they're using different ways to watch television. So yeah, getting an antenna for like $15 or whatever you want to spend on an antenna.
You can go on Amazon $5 just to watch.
It doesn't have to be old school with the rabbit ears. You know what I'm saying? You can find them on Amazon. They look nice, whatever else. But you can do that, or you can download it on the Brown Sugar app, and you just go on like Amazon or.
This may be a far gone question because I know Saints and Sinners gets put on Hulu after the season's over. Will that be the same with Johnson?
It's in talks. I asked them the same thing.
Because that's the explosion y'all gonna have, is when y'all can be like, it's on. So y'all really end up having 2 seasons almost, because y'all have the initial season and then the online Hulu season.
Yep. So yeah, I definitely asked them about that, and I'm still awaiting feedback on that. But if that's a possibility, we'll definitely let the people know once we get the feedback. But yeah, right now it's just on Brown Sugar. You can catch all the previous episodes on there. And I think it's only like $3 or $4 to stream on Brown Sugar. And yeah,
you could do it through Hulu or through Prime. I know that you can just add that onto your Prime or your Hulu membership on top of those.
Yeah. Also on Roku too. It's on Roku. So that's how you can catch Johnson. It's a really great show. It airs every Sunday on regular television, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you're on the East Coast, it's at 8 o'clock. Of course, Mountain Standard Time, 6 o'clock. Pacific, 5 o'clock.
So they don't hold it off and just make it at 7 for West Coast?
Nope. They only have one feed at the same time, but they show it twice.
Okay.
So it shows also at 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and 8 o'clock. So
it's prime time on the 8 o'clock. You just have to wait for the recast 8 o'clock if you're on the West Coast.
Right, exactly. Yep.
All right, time for these are the hardest questions you'll have in your life.
Oh my God.
I know you got a master's degree. I know all this education. You didn't say you didn't work on Luke Cage. These questions are beating this. All right, first question: Fresh Prince or Martin? This is that. This is you either get to choose one or each. That's all you got. Martin. All right. Now this is a triple threat match. This is a very key one. Now it's going to be Juice versus New Jack City. versus Menace to Society. Which one are you picking?
Oh man, I'm gonna say, golly, that's not easy. Oh man, I'm gonna have to go eeny, meeny, miny, mo on that. I'm gonna say, dang, Swiss. I'm gonna go with
Okay. All right.
That was hard. That was hard.
Yeah. All right. This one is St. Louis based only. St. Louis fried rice or St. Louis toasted ravioli or St. Louis ribs.
Dang. I'm gonna go with the rice. I'm gonna go with St. Louis.
I was look. There is I don't. There's some people that are disrespecting St. Louis rice that never had it. I guess New Orleans is supposed to have some good fried rice. I ain't never heard it is.
No.
St. Louis fried rice. I'm talking about, I will put it up against rice coming from China.
Absolutely.
No, like people laugh when I've said that. No, I'm serious. Yes.
Like there's St. Louis style fried rice in other cities.
Yes. Dallas has a whole business based off of St. Louis style rice. I know Dallas does.
Do they really?
It's the black dude from St. Louis that runs it.
Boom. Yeah, but the ribs though, man. That's why I ain't say ribs though, is because I don't
You get some decent ribs anywhere else. You can't get that St. Louis fried rice.
You that's true too. But I'm gonna say, well, yeah, that's true. St. Louis fried rice is just it. Memphis definitely has some bomb ribs.
You don't like KC?
I don't like their barbecue. Sorry, KC, love y'all, but
you don't like the sauce.
The sauce is terrible. I don't really like that. I don't like that smoky. Like they put it in a smoker, whereas St. Louisans, we put it on the grill.
Yeah.
And let it smoke out that way. There's a difference.
That is.
Yeah. So yeah, nah, we're gonna go with the rice. I can't eat the ribs no more because I'm pescatarian. So
we can get the beef.
I definitely miss ribs from St. Louis. Remember C&K? Stop lying. Do they have fish though?
I'm gonna text you they got a menu online.
Bet. You just made my whole day.
Yeah, so I only looked at the wings and like the chicken and the beef. Yeah, and you know it's actually a black-owned fried rice spot in St. Louis now too, on St. Charles Rock Road, right off Ashby and St. Louis Charles Rock Road. They do ribs, they do all St. Louis style food all in one place. So you can go there, get a fried rice, some ribs, some jumbo shrimp, a vest, all this. It's like Sarah Lou's on crack. Yeah. It's on St. Charles Rock Road in Ashby, in like a strip mall over there.
Text me that.
Yeah, do you remember where that Shop and Save used to be over there off of St. Charles Rock Road? It was an old drive-in. They turned into that Shop and Save Schnucks over there. It's across the street from there. It's right on St. Charles Rock Road in Ashby.
Okay.
Do you know what Judy Best is? Best Talent Center is? No. It's next to it. It's not next to it, but it's like maybe a block down from there. It's a Waffle House right next to it. So the Cypress Road is right there to take you all the way to the airport.
Yes.
So this is all in that area right there before you get to Lindbergh. St. Charles Road before you get to Lindbergh.
Yep. Yeah.
So it's in between, like with Bridgeton and all that. No, it isn't Bridgeton, but in between that area right before you get to Lindbergh. But it's a black spot that does all that stuff.
Okay, yeah, I need you to text me all
black fried rice. I go over there. I just want some fried rice. Support a black business by getting some fried rice.
Boom. There you go. Thank you for telling me that. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Sorry. So Sade or Anita Baker. Okay.
It's funny that you paired those two, because growing up, I didn't like either one of them.
I didn't either.
Are you serious?
I hated them until maybe early high school.
I'd have to say the same. It's so funny because, I won't say that I didn't like them.
I hated the song Fairy Tales. I might still kind of hate that song. the concept of the song, just the lyrics just kind of throws me off.
Well, for me, Anita Baker, like she definitely has hits. Like she's undeniable. Like she has some phenomenal songs. But as a singer, I like to sing along. And if I can't understand what you're saying, I don't like that.
So the ad-libbing and stuff she does?
She doesn't enunciate her words.
Yeah.
She's very, I call mushy mouth. Yeah. And so it wasn't until I saw her live that I was like, okay. And I begrudgingly saw her live. I was at Essence Festival with my line sisters one year, and Maxwell ass was 2 hours late for his set. So Anita Baker stayed up until he got there. And so I was watching Anita Baker for the duration until Maxwell got there. And I was like, she is killing it.
He kills it.
She's phenomenal. Like she really, in her songs, I mean, they're undeniable. She has smashes in her
It's just
voice.
different. It's like, because Sade is like an experience if you go to her concert to me.
I never went her, but you know what? Her band, like I love her sound. Like, but again, she was another, like, she was just kind of draggy for me though.
But it's like, as you get older, at least I think I'm older as you, and I think that the experience of life to maybe like both of them as well. I think that may be a key point in loving, liking them and experiencing life and being like, oh, they talking about some real shit on this.
Oh, yeah, they are. They are. I used to play, you know, Sade's band. I can't think of her band's name.
Yeah, you talk. Is the name of the band is called Sade technically?
No, the band has a name of its own.
Oh yeah, you're talking about no, but the band is named Sade, but when they not in their group, they're called, man, I'm forgetting their name now. Because they got 2 dope albums.
Yes, they do. I used to have a jazz show. I used to be a radio personality at Lincoln, and I used to play their album all the time. Like, exactly.
Because that song with Amelia Rue is dope. You Will Rise. That joint.
She's so cold. I could listen to her all day.
Amelia.
Low key, I feel like Beyonce was listening to her, was studying her during her first solo album. If you go back and listen to that first solo album and listen to the riffs that she would do, I was like, that's Amel LaRue. She's listening to Amel. Because, like, remember back in the day with Destiny's Child, like, you knew what Beyonce was going to do. Every run, you knew what was coming.
Yeah.
When she did her first album, she changed. And I remember being like, whoever her vocal coach is amazing.
And the ballads got better though.
Yes, they did. But her runs were unpredictable and crispy, and like it was just dope. But like you listen to some of Amel LaRue stuff and listen to Beyonce's first solo album, you be like, yep, she was listening to Amel LaRue. She had to have been.
That's I'm about to peep this out. I've never even thought about this.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, no, Sweetback is cold.
Sweetback is cold. Sweetback is cold. This could be a hard one for a lot of people. This may be a hard one for some people. Would you rather have no arms or no legs?
Why are you like this? Oh man, I feel like I'd rather have no arms. I'd be able to move around, bro. But like, have you seen? It's somebody out there with just legs, and she be eating and doing everything.
Yeah, no, because my uncle tells a story about him getting into a fight with a dude over a girl that was in a wheelchair. He had to beat up a dude in a wheelchair, and when he was in graduate school. So the dude, I guess he was talking to his girl, and
that is crazy.
So the dude was like pulling him down, like, hey, no, he said, no, come here, and he was like, what, man? What? Who are you? Like, what's up? And he tried to put him in a headlock. He's like, you get up off my girl, nigga. He's like, so I just start beating him down. He like, dude fell out his chair. I kept stomping on him. I was like, oh. But he had me for a minute because he had me in the headlock, and he's lowered to the ground. So I'm kind of like, I slipped out, and I said I hit him twice in the ribs. And he's like, and he let me go. And he's like, and then it was over for him then, because now I got everything on him. So I just stopped hitting him, and then he fell out the chair. And he tried to crawl, and he's like, and I start stomping on him. I was like, what? The fight is over, stomping on him. You won the fight, You're the better man. A man with no legs. That man, he was trying to holler at this girl it was at a bar. It was at what place was it? The Chicago people know the Dayton game. It's what's called the Dayton game on the South Side. Gino will know. And he was there, and it was like, yeah, no, hey man, come here, man. I need to holler at you, man. Come here. He's like, no, what's up, man? What's up? No. Like, and so he kept he leaned down, he caught him. And he was like, and he said he caught me slipping. So he's like, I'm trying. He's like, so I just hit him. He let me go. He said, I gave him all the work. So I had to give him a couple of pieces on the foot. I was like, oh, why? You already won when he fell out the chair. That's the game. Fight's over.
Okay.
So
That's
and my uncle with the wheelchair, man. That's why I always ask that question, like, would you rather have 2 arms or 2 legs?
like I need to be mobile. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I now I'm rethinking it.
You thinking about if you need to lump up somebody real quick, you ain't got no arms, you just be like, man, you want to go run outside or have a race like over this disagreement?
That's hard.
Yeah, it is.
What did you say with that question?
Oh no, I'm gonna take my legs off. I'm finna fight you. I'm still gonna be able to get with you, and I'm still gonna be able to, kick it, dap up my boys, have fun. If I ain't got no legs, I'm just like, what up? Everybody, I'm giving a little shoulder. So my shoulders may be mean though. I'm gonna have to have a mean shoulder bump. But I want to, at least and I always when somebody always got to come down and be like, hey man, where my money at? Because they got to come down to me in the wheelchair, like, hey man, you need to move your stuff out the crib. Everything is always like a private conversation. Reesha, thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate you. Wow, this was super fun, super fun. Plug all your socials everywhere people can hit you up at.
I'm generally on Instagram at Reesha LA. Not being Hollywood. Those are my initials. Yeah, it's like REESHA LA. So yeah, hit me on the gram.
So and when does the show come on again?
Every Sunday through October, I think 3rd. Well, actually, no, to be a little bit past that, because we're not gonna be airing an episode during Labor Day weekend. Yeah, it'll extend out. But yeah, every Sunday on Bounce TV. It airs every Monday on the Brown Sugar Network, or Brown Sugar app rather. Yeah, you can catch it again 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, 5 p.m. Pacific, and then again at 11 Eastern, 10 Central, 9 Mountain, and 8 Pacific on Sundays.
All right, Reesha, thank you so much. Like, you understand, it's like, this is super, super dope. I learned a lot about you I didn't even know, So this is super cool. I appreciate it so much.
For having me. All right, love you, man.
Love you.
Hey, bye.